Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round number 7 of the 2025 GossCars.com IACT Winter Warm-Up Series. Tonight, it's the Pard Brothers 75 at Thompson Speedway. I'm Nick Mumley, your host of tonight's broadcast, and alongside me in the virtual broadcast booth, Michael Stridesberg joining me as always. And Michael, the points are as tight as ever going into the penultimate race of 2025.
Indeed, they are, Nick. Just 22 points separating the top 5 in the GossCars.com IACT standings with 2 events left to go. And that includes a flat-footed tie for the lead after last week's event at New Smyrna between Logan Powers and Bob Eldred. But they've got Casey Beatty, Richie Murray, and Ryan Kuhn breathing down their throats. So not just tonight's race on the line, but also right from the first lap of the heat race, there are going to be valuable points as they try to chase the 2025 GossCars.com IACT Championship. As we get a look at our track facts entering tonight's event, looks like practice is ending and Heat 1 is getting ready to stage on the grid.
Absolutely. As you view the track facts here for this evening's race, Thompson Speedway, obviously a very noticeable venue for many of our viewers. ACT raced here last year and has raced here many times in the past. It is one of the most historic venues in all of short track racing, and tonight we are racing at the virtual version. Should be a good one as we get ready to go. 12 lap heat races tonight, and you can see our starting lineup is on the grid.
On the pole, J.J. Goodboo, the young runner out of Lincoln, New Hampshire, car number 92. Outside of him, 2-time winner this year, including last week, and the reigning IACT champion, Casey Beatty, out of St. Johnsbury, Vermont, in the 45. Then inside of row 2, you have got the co-point leader, Bob Eldred, in the Mind Warp number 13, and the 15 of Hayden Bushy alongside him. Richie Murray, the number 4-point man, just 10 out of the lead, will start in 5th in this one. Then the 21, except this week is the 47. Who we got behind the wheel of that one tonight, Nick?
We've either got David Weir or Gabe Brown. I believe it's Dave Weir.
He's taking a break from his number 21, so it threw us off a bit. On the rear, Reagan Parent. Last minute entry tonight in the 17 is going to go to shotgun. I believe, Nick, we're going to have, looks like 4 heats tonight. Unofficially 25 cars registered to qualify for tonight's Pard Brothers 75 at the virtual Thompson Speedway.
Absolutely, and it is going to be a thriller. Thompson is a fast and dangerous and difficult racetrack. High speeds, tight corners, almost runs like a Darlington Raceway in the Cup Series. Everybody's going to be kind of fighting for that middle to high groove to get the best run around the corner, and look out for that turn 4 wall because it sneaks up on you. Here we go, coming to green.
First heat of the night underway in the GossCars.com IACT series. Goodboo, the pole sitter on the inside. Casey Beatty with the nose up, though, on the outside as they head for turn number 3.
Beatty gets the advantage into 3. Goodboo still kind of stuck on that bottom lane. Bob Eldred's going to advance through in the 13, and now here comes Murray in the 08. All 3 of your top point competitors in this heat race already rising to the top early on. 1 lap complete, and it's Beatty, Eldred, and Murray down the backstretch.
Indeed, the number 3-point man, the co-point leader, and the number 4-point man nose to tail as they complete lap 2 of 12 in this heat race. If you're keeping track at home, 10 points to the winner, 8 points for second, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down through the field. Obviously, with the standard ticker bug, which hopefully will be fixed in the next software update, the first heat a little hard to read on the screen, but you can see him on the track. Casey Beatty showing the way.
And tonight, Michael, the big key for those top 5 drivers that are in the championship hunt. You can't win the championship tonight, but you sure can lose it. And it starts right now in this heat race, because these heats, like you mentioned, pay points. You got to have a good run. Got to put yourself in a good spot all night long to stay in that fight, so you're one of the drivers that has a realistic chance to win the IACT championship next week.
They pay points and they set the starting field for tonight's main event. Winner of Heat 1 gets the pole in the main event. They line them up straight up from there. So Beatty, Eldred, and Murray fighting for points, also fighting to be starting from ahead of the game rather than behind the 8 ball going into tonight's feature event. And we are going to take a look here inside with the 08 of Richie Murray as he tries to chase down our top 2.
Yeah, and the first thing you're going to notice about Thompson Speedway, that turn 4 wall, super, it's hard to see it. It's deceiving, if you will. Because of that, they've got a wall that's deeper out off the corner. Visually, it can be difficult to see that wall, judge your exit, and you see it again right here. It pops right out at you. It's very difficult. You got to hold on and stay out of that wall to keep that momentum wound up in that race car tonight if you want to have a good run. We saw so many people hitting the wall last week, kind of ruined their day at New Smyrna. Tonight, going to be much of the same. You got to stay away from that wall in the 4th turn.
It is a very narrow tightrope you have to walk at this racetrack, Nick. The early days when it opened, it was called the Indianapolis of the East because it was where everybody went on the East Coast to race. And part of it was it's just such a difficult track to race. There is so much prestige to win here, and that prestige carries over to this day as we've got 3 laps to go in this one. Battle is shaping up for the number 4 spot. We'll check in on quickly as Reagan Parent putting the pressure on our pole sitter.
Yeah, Reagan Parent coming from last on the starting grid here in heat race number 1, trying to work over JJ Goodboo in that 92 machine. Right now, Goodboo still with the advantage by a car length, but Parent trying to make it just a little bit tighter, maybe put some pressure on him here in the final 2 laps.
We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, let's check back in on our top 3. No changes. Richie Murray has been filling up the rearview mirror on Bob Eldred, but not able to get alongside him. And there is 1 lap to go here in heat number 1 at Thompson.
We'll see. Does Richie Murray try to make a move to get that starting position, get those extra points, knowing that he's behind Bob Eldred in the points? Can't take another deficit here as Beatty comes off of turn 4. Murray's not going to have a shot. Casey Beatty will win heat race number 1. Bob Eldred 2nd. Richie Murray comes home in 3rd.
JJ Goodboo, Reagan Parent, Hayden Bushy, and Dave Weir round out your field in the first qualifying heat for tonight's Pard Brothers 75. The second of 4 heats getting staged now on the front straightaway. Again, Nick, 12 laps. The winner of this one will go on the outside pole for tonight's event. We will note that Casey Beatty did win that heat, but he will have to serve an end of line as last week's winner. So he got the 10 points, but going to have to come from the back later on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So that means that this race will set the outside pole position for this race. And you see, starting from P1 on the grid in the 17, New Hampshire from White Mountain Motorsports Park, it is Kyle Goodboo. And to his outside from Oxford Plains Speedway, driving the number 16, that's Joey Israelson. Starting 3rd on the grid tonight will be the Premier Paving Chevrolet for Scott Dragon out of Milton, Vermont. And to his outside, the defending king of the road in 2024 over at Thunder Road, Caden Fisher joining us for the 3rd time in this season. Starting 5th tonight in this 6-car heat race will be the 69 of Aiden Young from the White Mountain Motorsports Park. And to his outside, starting from 6th position here tonight is the Harrison Ready Mix Pontiac Grand Prix for Brock Rouse in the 70.
That is your starting field for heat number 2. Kyle Goodboo, a couple of podium finishes this year, has been strong, had some rough luck as well. Caden Fisher running a part-time schedule. Aiden Young, the number 6 point man, your highest driver in the standings in this race. But a lot of drivers in this race, Nick, looking to play spoiler tonight. Obviously, a lot of eyes on our championship battles, but the best way to steal the show from them is to go out and win the race, and these drivers will look to put themselves in that position, beginning with heat number 2.
Absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see because it's almost the outside lane almost gives you a little bit of an advantage here on these initial starts and the restarts. So that's going to be something to keep your eye on. Can Joey Israelson beat Kyle Goodboo into turn 1, get the advantage off of turn 2?
We are about to find out as the green flag waves. Goodboo and Israelson even. Goodboo actually gets a great drive, and he is going to clear Israelson in turns 1 and 2 and take the lead. Behind him, Caden Fisher looked to get inside, but the son of Israel holds on to second for the time being.
Yeah, nice move by Goodboo on that green flag to slide himself up in front of the 16. 16 did not fill the hole as well as he needed to get that advantage off of 2. Goodboo recognized that, slid up in front of him, maintains the spot.
Field sorted out for now. Taking a look right now from the rear bumper of Caden Fisher about at the second half of the field. Brock Rouse got a nice run up the outside on the restart to run fourth. And then Aiden Young in the 69, who we mentioned entered tonight 6th in points, had a very consistent year. Going to try and steal something here. Maybe he could get up into the top 5 in points if something goes wrong with one of our front runners. For now, he's got to find a way around Brock Rouse to help make that happen.
Yep, Brock Rouse running back there in 4th position. As we go back up to 2nd, here's a look at Joey Israelson in the 16. Kind of worked out a gap now in between himself and the leader Kyle Goodboo and 3rd place Caden Fisher. Everybody seeming pretty content to ride here with 8 laps to go in heat race number 2. Goodboo setting sail with about a half a second lead. Caden Fisher there in 3rd, kind of just biding their time, trying to work this thing down, maybe make a move at the end.
We'll have 7 laps to find out what happens, but in the meantime, everybody looking to just hit their marks, get the hang of those RKM setups for tonight's 75-lap event. Something we'll note, Nick, now when we have the chance. In recent weeks, there has been a set of change tires in the pits for drivers during the main event. Not the case tonight. It will be the same as an actual Milton Cat American Canadian Tour event at Thompson. The 4 tires you start the race on are the ones you have to finish the race on, and it's going to add a different element to tonight's proceedings.
Yeah, absolutely. So this race is going to be, as you can see, these guys getting kind of spread out. Track position is going to be very important tonight. You're going to have to make the right calls to make up ground in this race, but also tire preservation. You've got to make sure you have tires at the end if you want to be in it. This is going to be, it's only a 75-lap race, but this is going to be one of the toughest tests that these IACT drivers have faced all season long.
And 75 laps at Thompson, Nick, is like 125 or 150 laps at a lot of other tracks. The very aged asphalt, it eats away at tires in any division. I mean, you ask some of the American Canadian Tour drivers if they would change tires in a 75-lap race at Thompson, they had the chance, they would say absolutely, because it just eats away at them.
Yep, it's an old asphalt. Like I said, this is like the Darlington of the Northeast. It's a very difficult racetrack. It'll eat you up. It's high speed. It's super technical. And you see Caden Fisher there slap the turn 4 wall as they come to 2 to go. I mean, this track, if you let it, will eat you for lunch. So it's going to be very important to have a clean race. Keep all the fenders on your race car, and manage those tires. You want to have a good set underneath you when push comes to shove, that pay window opens. So should be interesting.
For sure, final lap in heat number 2, Kyle Goodboo all by his lonesome at the front of this one. Rounds turn number 3 and 4, no contest, wire to wire. Kyle Goodboo is going to pick up the easy win in the 17 New Hampshire and do a little dirt tracking to celebrate. Joey Israelson is second, then Caden Fisher, Brock Rouse, Aiden Young, and Scott Dragon round out your field.
Absolutely, a good heat race number 2 there as we move on to our 3rd heat race of the evening. 12 laps is the distance, and we will wait for them to grid up here, Michael, as we take a look at tonight's starting field for heat race number 3.
On the pole, the co-point leader drawing the top starting spot in heat number 3, Logan Powers in car number 31, feature winner at Oxford earlier in this GossCars.com IACT season. Alongside, he's the tech man at Thompson Speedway during the summer, taking some virtual laps there tonight, Jason Ricker in car number 9. Nathan Wenzel in the 03, the former NASCAR New Hampshire state champion, will start third. Then the 13 Vermont, the Flying Tiger racer, Ty Delphia, will go fourth. Then it is a row of current and former Arnie Hill Racing drivers, Nick. Matt Smith on the inside in the 4, and last season's Thompson winner in the IACT series, Justin Prescott in the 04, will round out your Heat 3 field.
Justin Prescott starting P last in the heat race again. It's like death in Texas, Justin Prescott starting last.
There's bad variance, and then there's Justin Prescott's qualifying draw. He's just got to hope he's getting it out of his system before the real world qualifying draws come up this 2025 season.
How much do you want to bet he makes IACT heat races in the plus-minus system next year?
I'd lay 3-1 odds on that and bet $50.
There we go. So here we go. iRacing pace car about to make the left turn onto the pit road. Logan Powers inside 31. Jason Ricker outside 9. Green flag is out. Ricker gets a great jump, and we are racing.
Oh, they bang wheels in 1 and 2. Logan Powers trying to surge ahead. They are getting physical early in this one, Nick, as Logan Powers does not want to get hung up on the inside. Sweeps up to the outside and takes the lead.
And remember, with Casey Beatty taking the EOL, this race is for the pole because the inside lane will move up a row with Beatty dropping back. So as of right now, Logan Powers would be your pole sitter with a Heat 3 victory. And Jason Ricker, though, he's trying to steal it away, showing some early muscle here in heat race number 3.
Jason Ricker, a podium finisher this year on the IACT series, keeping the pressure on Logan Powers as we take the far chase view from our third place runner Nathan Wenzel. The top 3 definitely pulling away from the rest of the field here as we are 3 laps into this qualifier.
Yeah, Nate Wenzel is one of those guys that's in need of a good run tonight. How many times this year, Michael, have we talked about him running up at the front of the field, leading laps even, just to have it fall apart in the late stages? He is really hoping for a complete performance tonight, green to checker.
For sure, and we do want to we're going to go to our replay, Nick, because I think we have an incident here earlier in this race. We're going to take a look here at what might have happened. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ty Delphia gets the wall. Like I said, that wall is vicious. Right there, it struck Ty Delphia. Matt Smith, an unassuming victim, spins out into the infield. You can see him there on the left of your screen on our ticker. He's now about 12 seconds off the lead.
Indeed, not the start he wanted to tonight. Right now, he's just out there hoping for a caution to tighten the field up and maybe make a last run at it. But action getting spicy for the second spot. Here comes Nathan Wenzel to the inside in 2-1. They lean on each other through 2. Nathan Wenzel trying to fight his way to the number 2 spot.
Yeah, getting through the corners here, especially on the bottom, so technical. You got to do everything right. Wenzel with the slide job there, but he overshot it. Ricker shoots right by on the bottom and goes right past, gains that car length advantage once again. Ricker, and now Wenzel will have to sit back, reset, and give it another try here in the final 5.
Nick, to carry on to your analogy before, that was like a Dale Earnhardt Darlington crossover move when they would go by him in turn 3, shoot up the track, and he'd slide back underneath them. And with 4 to go, Nick, I understand we've had some more wrecking back in the pack too, as we're going to go back to our SDK Racing replay.
Let's see, did the turn 4 wall catch Ty Delphia again?
Oh, it looks like he just came to a stop. Looks like he may have just said that's enough for the race.
So
oh boy.
Ty Delphia has had enough of Thompson already. Like I said, this race will break your soul. 3 laps to go back up at the front of the field as Logan Powers leads the way with Jason Ricker in tow. Powers faced an early fight from Ricker in this race. Like I said, this race going for the pole position. The winner of this race will start P1 tonight. Logan Powers, your co-point leader, he wants it bad, but so does Jason Ricker as they're coming to the white flag here at Thompson.
And you see at the back of your picture, Nick, Justin Prescott is running down this top 3. Maybe too late to do anything in this race, but he was the winner here at Thompson last year. He's showing he's got some feistiness again tonight. Jason Ricker going to make one last bid for the win, but not going to get there. Off of 4, Logan Powers picks up the Heat 3 win for the Pard Brothers 75. Jason Ricker in second, then Wenzel, Prescott, Smith, and Delphi round out your field. Powers with the win and the 10 points to go towards the GossCars.com IECT Championship.
And that will officially make him the point leader by, I believe, 1 point, Michael, over Bob Eldred going to the heat races?
By 2 points,
2
because
points.
Eldred picked up 8 points for finishing second.
Correct. There we go. That's why we have Michael in here to know all the stats. I'm just along for the ride. Heat race number 4 about to get going. Another 6-car field, 12 laps in length is this one. Brian Hoare, the 8-time ACT champion and Goodyear blimp driver at points in this season, will start on the pole. And jumping up to his outside here will be Mike McCaskill in the 3 after taking last week off. Mike McCaskill making his return to IACT, the Flying Tiger driver from Thunder Road, will start second. Starting third, one of your Fast 5 drivers that have a chance at this championship, Ryan Kuhn, still rocking the holiday Christmas lights in the 72 machine. He will roll off third. Starting fourth in the number 20 Chevrolet, that is going to be Brogan Roberts from the kids division over at White Mountain. Starting fifth will be Eric Steele in the 32, and to his outside, electing at the rear of the field, will be Jacob Roy in the 11, and now possible issues for Brian Hoare.
Brian Hoare, you saw him roll to a stop. Looks like the entire front row is going to reflect the rear. So, Nick, give me a drum roll. Merry Christmas, Ryan Kuhn.
Yeah, he'll take it, I'm sure.
I think Ryan is just testing my Christmas song knowledge by keeping this paint scheme, and let me tell you, Ryan, challenge accepted.
Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Ryan Kuhn, Mike McCaskill take us to green, with Eric Steele getting up to the third position on the start. McCaskill runs high on the initial start. To the back he goes, and up to second goes Steele. Brogan Roberts is going to find third. Jacob Roy up to fourth, and Brian Hoare up to fifth. McCaskill with a rough turn through turns 1 and 2. Might have even gotten the wall there in 3 and 4.
Indeed. Let's take a wide view of this and see if we can figure out what happened.
It just got up in the marbles.
I don't know if he actually if he didn't get the wall, he got real close.
Absolutely. So Ryan Kuhn out with the lead now by 0.4 of a second, already on Eric Steele, and a second lead to Brogan Roberts in the 20, who's running third. So Kuhn has gotten the benefit of 3 drivers at the front finding their way to the back of the field, and he is driving off into the sunset here at Thompson Speedway.
He is rocking around the Christmas tree, that's for sure, looking for the win and the 10 points that would go with it. Now, Ryan Kuhn also has to serve an end-of-line penalty after going back-to-back to start the year. So he is, again, another driver like Beatty earlier, just trying to max out his points and then see what he can do from the back of the field come main event time.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the field pretty spread out at this point in the race, with Brogan Roberts there in the 20, riding around in third position. He'd be setting himself up for a pretty nice starting spot here tonight if that holds. Brogan Roberts raced with us a couple times here in 2025 in that number 20 machine.
And he's gone with the reverse scheme to try and change his fortune this time with the orange on white scheme. And so far it seems to be working as he is closing in on the 32 of Eric Steele for the number 2 position. Let's take a look inside the cockpit with Brogan Roberts as he tries to chase down Eric Steele.
You can see him here going into turn number 3. You really want to limit how much wheel you're putting into that race car. You want to limit how much you're sliding the tires going into that corner. preserving tires, like I said, Michael, going to be huge tonight. You got to find ways to take care of those tires and still go forward. The drivers that are able to do that tonight will have the best luck of anyone in the field.
Indeed, and you know those RKM setups are going to be as easy as they can on the tires, but as we said earlier, there's no such thing as easy on the tires at Thompson Speedway, and we're going to find out. Obviously, though, they're not going to start the race on the virtual tires from this heat race. They'll get a fresh set to start the main event, but never too early to start working on some tire-saving techniques that you can apply in the 75-lap feature, which is 3 laps away from heading to the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of our drivers in these heat races with the field kind of getting a little bit spread out, I think that's what they were looking to do. Save some tires, learn some stuff about the car. You had the 30-minute practice session before we kicked off the racing action tonight. Got to use that. Get a long run in those 30 minutes. See what happens to the tires. Are you saving enough? Are you saving too much, maybe? I don't know if there's going to be any such thing as saving too much tire tonight in this one, though.
The white flag is out. Watching from Brian Hoare, he has been running down these second and third place cars at about a quarter second a lap, but he is going to run out of time as we go back to the front. All by his lonesome. It is the Jingle Bell Rock for Ryan Kuhn as he wins heat number 4. Eric Steele comes home in second, then Brogan Roberts, Brian Hoare, Jacob Roy, and Mike McCaskill to set the rest of the 25-car starting field for tonight's main event.
There we have it. So we are ready to race after our 5-minute warm-up session. And Michael, we didn't let you get it in last week, so what is this week's track fact about Thompson Speedway?
Yes, we're going to work it in right now. Nick, we are going to go back to how the track started. Now, we've seen a lot of tracks hit by harsh weather, snowstorms, hurricanes, and such, but actually, a hurricane is what led to Thompson Speedway. Because John Honing, back in the 1930s, had a dream of creating a racetrack in his little town of Thompson, Connecticut. And then one September day in 1938, what became known as the Long Island Express blew through Thompson, part of the Great New England Hurricane, devastated the town, devastated a lot of property. Some people decided to move, some people decided to rebuild the same way it was. John Honing took a look around and said, well, if I'm going to build a racetrack, now's the time to do it. So he went to work, and by the spring of 1940, Thompson Speedway had opened the first asphalt racetrack in North America, and it is still there 85 years later. Their racing season is going to be starting up the final weekend of March, actually, with the annual Icebreaker coming up. I believe that is March 28th and 29th. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I got my dates right. So looking forward to yet another season at the high banks of Thompson.
Yeah, and Thompson is one of those places that it is like you have to go there if you've never been. It is truly breathtaking when you step into Thompson for the first time. So if you've never been to Thompson, go down for the Icebreaker, go down for the World Series, or any of the events that they have throughout the summer. The racing is great. It's fast. It's physical. It's like a super speedway and a short track all mixed into one.
For sure, Nick. And we still got about 2.5 minutes. So, Nick, who is it we've got sponsoring tonight's event?
We have Pard Brothers Racing up in Colchester, Vermont. Andrew Hill and the team up there they've been working on race cars for a long, long time. The home shop of Jason Corliss in the 66 machine at Thunder Road, the multi-time King of the Road, Milk Bowl champion. You all know the resume. They have been a huge help throughout the Thunder Road and ACT family for many, many years now, and they've got everything you need, whether it's fixing up the car, getting some parts for it, whatever you need, they are there for it. So Pard Brothers Racing, they know what it takes to make you fast, for sure.
We have seen that over and over again, Nick. Thank you to them again for sponsoring tonight's event. $50 to the winner tonight, 30 for second, 20 for third. And remember, Nick, the entire IACT season once again brought to you by GossCars.com. Serving the South Burlington, St. Albans City, Burlington, Vermont, and Champlain, New York regions. Whether you're looking for a new Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, one of their great used cars, looking for a Chevrolet up at Goss Chevrolet in Champlain, New York, whether you're looking for service on your car with their extensive, knowledgeable parts and service department, they can do it all. So visit them at GossCars.com, Nick, and remember, go, 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 Goss has got it.
Absolutely, they do. And in our final minute of the warm-up session here tonight, we want to also talk to you about that logo in the top right corner of your screen. The top left corner of your screen, I should say. Maybe I'll learn my directions someday. RKM Setup Shop.
Your other...
Yeah, my other left. RKM Setup Shop. Ryan Kuhn Motorsports, that's what RKM stands for. And Bad Fast Setups is the other thing that they stand for. Short track racing, iRacing setups are their lifeblood. I mean, you've seen the setups here tonight. These cars race really well around a difficult racetrack. We're going to have a great race here tonight at Thompson. We've had great racing all season long in the IACT Winter Warm-Up Series, and that is thanks to the fine folks at the RKM Setup Shops, the official setup provider of IACT.
What timing, Nick, right as the clock hit 0 in the warm-up for the Pard Brothers 75 out. Virtual Thompson, 7th round of 8 in the 2025 campaign. Field going to be coming to the grid for today's 75-lap main here at Thompson. Let's pull up the starting grid on your screen. Starting on the pole, but again, taking the end of line as last week's winner in the GossCars.com IACT Series. That is your reigning champion, Casey Beatty, in the 45, alongside the 17 of Kyle Goodboo, the former winner at the White Mountain Motorsports Park. Row 2, you have the point leader following qualifying, and the man who's going to move up to the pole, Logan Powers, in car number 31. And outside, another driver going to be taking the E end of line. He's a 2-time winner this season. The man who provides the setups for this whole shindig, Ryan Kuhn, in the sleigh bells ringling, jingling 72 machine.
Man, we really need to get him to change that paint scheme. Bob Eldred
we don't.
Bob Eldred will roll off 5th tonight in the Mind Warp 13, another one of your co-point leaders, currently 2nd in points as we go into tonight. Joey Israelson will roll off 6th. Jason Ricker 7th in the number 9 machine, the Tech Man at Thompson. And rolling off 8th, Eric Steele in the 32.
Your number 4-point man, Richie Murray, feature winner this year, next on the field in car number 08. Then the reigning king of the road at the Thunder Road Speed Bowl, the Trop 03 for the former NASCAR New Hampshire state champion Nathan Wenzel, and the 20 for Brogan Roberts will go alongside him.
Starting 13th on the field tonight will be J.J. Goodboo in the number 92. Then Brock Rouse in the 70. Justin Prescott will roll off 15th. And right next to him is Dad, Brian Hoare, in the 46. Will start 16th.
Reagan Parent in the 17. The 69 for your number 6-point man, Aiden Young. Matt Smith in the 4. Jacob Roy in the 11. Then you got the 15 of Hayden Bushy, the 0 of Scott Dragon, Ty Delphia in the 13 Vermont, the 3 Dave Weir in the 47. They are underground.
And we are racing at Thompson Speedway as we work it off of turn number 2. Out to the early lead is going to be J.J. Goodboo, or Kyle Goodboo with Kuhn, and now we have a caution flag here Caution flag is out here. Looks like there might have been a problem down in turn number 3, and Bob Eldred possibly involved in this, Michael.
Yeah. Yes, I saw it coming apart as they were coming out of turn 2. Let's get a look at the replay and see if we can figure out precisely what happened. Oh, contact between Eldred and Ricker, and the field comes slam bam, thank you ma'am, in right behind him. Oh boy, that's a rough start. Let's get a little look at it if we can.
Yeah, it's so tight on corner exit here. Ricker just kind of loses the grip on that machine and pops it up, and yeah, problems there, and caution flag is out because of it, and tough braking. You see Richie Murray in there getting some damage as well.
A bad break for 2 of our top 4 point drivers on the opening lap of this event, Nick, and they are going to 75 lap event.
All right, we are ready to go green. Green flag back in the air at Thompson Speedway. Kyle Goodboe on the inside. Logan Powers on the outside. We've already seen one championship contender, possibly 2 of them, getting into some trouble here in the opening laps. Going to be interesting to see who can keep it clean and green down to the finish.
Logan Powers gets the jump that time on the restart. Goodboe had gotten the jump on the initial start, but Logan Powers able to get out in front of him this time, and he leads the way early in this one. Behind him, Ryan Kuhn up to the 3rd spot may not have taken in the end around.
And it looks like the caution flag is back out here, and we apologize, folks, if for some of the internet troubles we're having tonight. We're actively working on trying to get those fixed while we also do the broadcast, so bear with us. We will hopefully have a patch for that here before too long. But, Michael, we are under our second caution of the day. Let's try to see what happened here. Oh, my goodness. Casey Beatty involved in this one.
Indeed. Looks trouble in front. Initially front, we watching. Oh gosh. So let's move up ahead and see if we can figure out. Oh, Caden Fisher into the back of JJ Goodboe. Justin Prescott nailed. Bob Eldred collected again. And for the second time at Thompson Speedway now. Okay.
All right, we are racing once again here at Thompson after 2 early yellow flag periods. Once again, still working through some technical difficulties with our broadcast here tonight, as it just does not want to seem to cooperate with us, Michael, but Logan Powers is out in front.
Indeed, Logan Powers, your early leader, and by mistake, it looks like we said that Ryan Kuhn was going to be taking an end of line, but it appears that he did not this weekend. He is trying to take advantage, dogging the point leader at the front, and Kyle Goodboot looking to shape him down in third. And we got some heavy hitters, Nick, trying to fight their way out of the back after early incident. It's Richie Murray, Casey.
You can see there's Casey Beatty. He had some trouble early in this race, currently running in 18th position on the track. You see the damage on the 45 machine. Things not going his way early on in this one, while Powers and Kuhn lead the show up at the front of the field.
Indeed. Even 9 laps into this, you see a lot of battered vehicles, like the 32 of Eric Steele, as well as a rough start to this one, Nick. They're trying to get it sorted out here as we roll along. And look who is up to 6th. Your last year's winner, Justin Prescott, part of the lead pack here, trying to chase down Nathan Wenzel in number 5 position as we watch from overhead.
Yeah, Justin Prescott, we saw him make up a ton of ground in the heat race, right? So he is looking to continue those efforts towards the front of the field, trying to make up some ground here. It's difficult to pass. You got to time your passes perfectly, or else there's going to be some contact involved, or you'll lose some ground on the driver in front of you, as we see Nate Wenzel try to take a peek to the inside of Joey Israelson for 4th.
Indeed, up ahead of him, Kyle Goodboot working on the 72 of Kuhn, and they're closing up on a slower car in a few laps here. The 11 of Jacob Roy will enter the picture, and how they negotiate the traffic could play a role in how the rest of this plays out. Top 3 putting a little distance now, a couple car lengths between themselves and the 4th place machine of Joey Israelson. Other than that, fairly content to ride, it seems, as we are less than 20% of the way in this Pard Brothers.
And you got to remember, tire management is key in this race. You only get one set of tires. You got to make them work. So there is the field. As you see, Jacob Roy in the 11 will be going a lap down here momentarily. Logan Powers, your leader, with Kuhn riding in 2nd. If that rings a bell, you might remember the Oxford race just a couple of weeks ago, when Powers held off Kuhn and really the entire second half of the event. We'll see if Kuhn can get the better of him here tonight.
It doesn't just ring one bell, Nick. When you look at Ryan's car, you see it rings a lot of bells as he tries to close in on the 31 of Powers. Roy just pulls right down the inside and lets them by. We're going to check back in the field here, Nick, as well. Some of our point drivers who were caught up early. Bob Eldred, the 13, back up to the 12th spot, working on the 3 of Mike McCaskill. Dives to his inside in turn 1. One position behind him, the 08 of Richie Murray, also caught up in an early incident. You could see a peek of him there. He's got damage, but he's trying to work his way through as Eldred completes the pass on McCaskill in turns 3 and 4.
Bob Eldred making the pass happen on lap number 17. Got a lot of ground to make up if he doesn't want to lose a ton of points tonight to current race leader Logan Powers, who took a 2-point advantage in the heat races. But Bob Eldred, he's got a long road to hoe if he wants to get up to the front and make this a positive points day rather than a negative one.
Indeed, he does have time. Bob Eldred is known having crinkled fenders not going to make it any easier as the top three accordion back together behind him. You can see Justin Scott starting to work the low line, breaks his momentum there, and Reagan Parent will try to take advantage, duck into the inside in turn 3 and 4.
Reagan Parent trying to complete that pass, but you can see just how difficult it is to work somebody over here at Thompson Speedway. You've got to really calculate and perform perfectly to complete a pass here. Reagan Parent will settle back in a couple car lengths behind and go for it again as we ride on board once again. But Prescott doesn't have a ton of room to run away, right? Like, he's got Nate Wenzel right there, kind of up on the back bumper of him. That could play to the advantage of Reagan Parent, but it could also come to hurt him if he gets a really good run because he won't have room to slide up in front.
Indeed, and you can see farther up ahead in the windshield, Nick, Ryan Kuhn is ducking to the inside a little bit on Logan Powers some of the time at the turn right now, just letting him know he's there. Hasn't made a very aggressive move yet, but you know he's working right now, thinking about what will work and what doesn't. See him go back and forth with Jimmy Hebert in the real world at Thompson, and we've got to imagine he's going to try and put some of that experience to work here on the
Yeah, absolutely. As you see Reagan Parent trying to peek to that bottom lane, show Justin Prescott a nose, say, hey, I'm here, I want the spot. But the battle up at the front of the field is starting to get a little bit tighter. Logan Powers has been unable to get away from the grips of the Christmas car in Ryan Kuhn in the 72. And then Kyle Goodboe right there in third trying to make something happen as well.
Indeed, as we're just about to the 1/3 mark of this event, working lap 25 of 75, and we'll check back in the field. Nick, Bob Eldred has cracked the top 10, trying to gain ground now on the 9th place machine of Brock Rouse, and not far behind him, Richie Murray following him through the field. Dented sheet metal in all, these top point drivers showing why they are in the championship chase, methodically clawing their way back into this one.
Meanwhile, Casey Beatty back in 21st spot. Not the day that the defending champion needed thus far. He is going to need some help and some track position here late in this, as this race gets later and later. Back to 22nd now. Not a good day for Casey Beatty in the 45.
I've actually Casey, yeah, we're checking in on Casey Beatty right here now. Just right now, he needs a caution. There may have been some sort of I'm not sure if there was some sort of jumble on the restart to get him set back. He's been fighting from behind this whole run. You can see him starting to gain on the 47 of Weir, the 69 of Aiden Young, but he needs a few breaks to fall his way at this point, Nick. And actually, Nick, and hopefully he's got to hope he will get one before too much longer. And we have had the 31 of Logan Powers maybe having some blipping there going on, Nick. Maybe some internet connectivity issues because he dropped off the leaderboard for a second, but is now back on track showing the point. That's going to be something to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, you can't have a bad internet night. Just like we're having right now. You cannot have one when you're behind the wheel of the race car because it's one thing to call the race when it's a little bit glitchy. It's another thing to try to drive the race car.
Touche. But so far, he is holding on to the lead. We'll go through the field while we have a chance here, Nick. Why don't we? Logan Powers is your leader. Ryan Kuhn, oh by gosh, by golly, has got his mistletoe and holly running in the second spot. Kyle Goodboe holding steady in third. Joey Israelson having another strong run in the first half, this one in fourth. Has had some strong runs in the first half of races this year, Nick. Hasn't quite gotten the finishes to show, but trying to seal the deal tonight and rounding out the top 5, the 03 of Nathan Wenzel with Prescott to his inside.
Yeah, Justin Prescott, we saw him riding on the rear bumper of Nate Wenzel for quite some time. It's going to be interesting here. Can he get it to stick? He's made the move down to the inside. Might have to rough him up a little bit, and he does. Wenzel up the racetrack. giving up spots. Hand over fist now. Jacob Roy you see down in the infield as Nate Wenzel gets body slammed by Justin Prescott all the way back to the 9th position.
Indeed. Now he's going to have to, keep his head screwed straight, get his feel back, and try and get on the charge again. And Nick, while all that was happening, we have a new leader. Ryan Kuhn has taken over the top spot in the 72 machine.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn trying to make it a max points night. Logan Powers, he can have a pretty good day, while Ryan Kuhn also has a pretty good day and still be in a good spot to win this championship. That's the advantage when you're the point leader going in. But Ryan Kuhn, he's got his back against the wall a little bit here. He really needs to make this happen if he wants to have a shot at this championship. Needs to have a great performance here today. Coming into the day behind by 22 points in the championship standings, so he needs to make up points, and even if he wins, Logan Powers still with a second place finish would still have the lead in the points. But Ryan Kuhn in a good position right now to make this a max points day.
Let's go to the SDK Gaming replay, Nick, here, and see if we can get a look at the pass.
Yeah, he dives it down to the inside. Does a good job staying out of the door of the 31 there and just gets a good run down the straightaway. Doesn't let Powers get the advantage. And then there's a little bit of contact. Kind of have to finish him off when you get the advantage into turn number 1. No harm, no foul. Ryan Kuhn, your new leader.
Indeed. Kuhn's now starting to pull away by a few car lengths as well. Powers under attack now from Kyle Goodboo. You can see poking the nose inside of him as we are past the halfway point in this one. Goodboo has to settle in third, then is Israelson and Justin Prescott rounding out your top 5. Rest of the top 10 as they run, Nick: Reagan Perrin in 6th, Eric Steele in 7th, Brock Rouse, Nate Wenzel, and Bob Eldred runs in the 10th position. Him and Richie Murray seem to have stalled out a bit. They've got some more work to do.
Yeah, they sure have. They could probably use a yellow flag right now. Hopefully not one that they're involved in as we take a look at these leaders here. And Michael, you got to remember, Ryan Kuhn, if you remember the ACT race here last year, had such a good run, nearly was able to knock off Tom Carey for the victory. Good second place victory. Really, Carey and Kuhn were in their own zip code for much of that ACT race back at the Thompson World Series in October. And here he is, surprise, surprise, leading the way as we roll on lap number 42.
Indeed, but still more than 30 laps to go in this one. Right now we're watching the battle for 9th through 11th. Bob Eldred and Richie Murray have reeled in Nate Wenzel, but so far not quite able to do anything with him. Again, a lot of people hoping for a caution. They're just hoping not to be the caution, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to make sure that you keep all the all the wheels on this thing and get it down to the finish, but you got to drive on right on the edge without making a mistake. Somebody eventually is going to here. But like I said off air before we started this race, we were either going to have a race where everybody was fighting for one lane and there was a bunch of cautions, or we were going to go green to checkered. And aside from a couple early spins here, we have been green flag racing for most of this thing.
Indeed, and we can update you on our garage area as well. It looks like 46 Brian Hoare, 15 Hayden Bushy, 11 of Jacob Roy among the early retirees from this race. Ty Delphia also headed to the pits a couple laps ago. We'll wait to see more on him, but obviously not the night they were looking for. Meanwhile, at the front, Logan Powers has stabilized the gap behind Ryan Kuhn, about a couple of car lengths, and we'll see what any of them have saved as we enter the final stage of this event.
And we have a caution. Caution on the racetrack for the third time. And some contact there between second and third place here as we try to look into what that caution flag is for.
Yeah, we're gonna go off that view and
Oh, Brogan
and
Roberts.
I think we found it.
Yeah, Brogan Roberts, Mike McCaskill. Tango off of turn at number 4. Calamity Corner today, Michael, and there it is once again. Yeah, I think Roberts was getting the wall anyway, and McCaskill was driving up the track too. It's such a difficult corner to get around.
For sure, yeah. The car just wants to go straight to the top of the track when you come out of that corner, and sometimes it darts out on you, and you end up either getting the wall or getting the car that's alongside of you.
Yeah, definitely. So that sets up some interesting race strategy here, though, Michael. We got 28 laps to go here. We're getting right down to it. These tires, they just were on a long green flag run. They've cooled off tremendously on this caution period. How are they going to come back up to temperature? This is where I think we're going to see some guys have changing cars. We're going to see some track position change on this restart. Who fires off good? Whose tires at this point are just begging for mercy with still, a third of this race left to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But this restart might have some major playoff implications, as Rick Allen would say.
Indeed. And you also just got to think about the mindset of each driver on this restart. High time to try and get a spot or two, and that could play into what happens here as well as they double. Ryan Kuhn, leader's choice, chooses the outside. Logan Powers will be on his inside for this restart.
Logan Powers 31, Ryan Kuhn 72. Who can get the jump and gain the advantage? Joey Israelson running well there in 4th as well. Here we go. Green flag back out. Ryan Kuhn as Logan Powers cleared into turn 1, and here comes Kyle Goodboe, and Powers into Goodboe, and a little bit of contact right there. Now Powers under fire. Justin Prescott gets through. Powers sliding back through the field.
Well, Logan Powers thought he had it timed perfectly as we got trouble in the back of the pack. We saw Joey Israelson, and the caution.
Caution flag flies once again for the 4th time. What do they say, Michael? Cautions breed cautions.
Indeed, they would happen to bring out this yellow.
Looks like Brogan Roberts got turned right around there by Brock Rouse in the 70. Take a look.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the pass for 3rd that's happening. We'll see if we can get a better look at what happened to bring this caution flag. Looks like a kind of a chain reaction, Nick, where Israelson was dropping back, got off the corner really badly, and little touch with the 70 of Brock Rouse took. And the 13 of Bob Eldred got keyed in the door.
You see the 16 of Israelson down there on pit road. Tough end to his day. He was having a good top 5 run. But now things getting interesting. And look who's up there to 3rd, Michael. It's last year's Thompson winner here, Justin Prescott.
Yeah, Nick, to finish my thought on what was happening on that restart, Logan Powers thought he had it timed perfectly where Kuhn got the jump and he just slid up to the inside, but he didn't count on Kyle Goodboe deciding it was time to go, and they bumped hubcaps in turns 1 and 2, and that broke Power's momentum, ended up sliding him all the way back to the fourth spot. The good news for him, if you want to call it that, is that he will have what is considered the preferred outside line for this restart. We'll see if he can get that ground back.
Yeah, and he's going to be needing it here. This is going to be a big restart. Justin Prescott hungry for win number 2 on IACT. Kyle Goodboe, he wants one after what's been an up and down season. Ryan Kuhn desperate to get back in the points chase, and Logan Powers just trying to hang on. A green flag is out. Ryan Kuhn, Kyle Goodboe take us to turn number 1.
Front 2 break away pretty well. Logan Powers able to use the outside. As you can see, him stacked up in the back of the field as well. And there's trouble again. It looked like it might have been Dave Weir getting turned into the wall, and the caution flag is back out.
So another short-lived green flag run here, as we have caution again with 25 laps to go. Caden Fisher in the 18. Yeah, cautions breed cautions.
Indeed, we're going to see if we can get a look at what happened here.
Whoa!
And that's the tail end of it, and that really started off at turn 2, Nick, because you could see that several cars got stacked up off turn 2, and the field got sorted out, and it ended up being Dave Weir who paid the price.
Yeah, tough break there for Dave Weir in the 21/47 machine. As we take a look back up at the front of the field here, you see Logan Powers, Justin Prescott pacing. Going to get to re-rack them here, I do believe, but I think they're going to give Powers third position, so that's going to put him back down on the inside lane. If that's what what's going to happen here.
It looks like that is what's happening, Nick, because IACT uses the score forward system, where you complete the field is frozen at the moment of caution, and you complete the lap you're on, and Powers did the pass. Path up there in the 4 looks like he will be the free pass car on this caution as he is pulled up. And we've got 25 laps of action left in the Pard Brothers 75.
Going to be one heck of a finish. Like I said, Michael, a lot of these drivers really hungry for a victory here tonight. See Logan Powers there in the 31. You can
see Matt Smith taking it to the pits as well.
Yep, Smith down pit road, field doubling back up, and we are just about ready to go racing once again.
Ryan Kuhn, your leader, chooses the outside. Then it's the 17 of Goodboe, Logan Powers, Justin Prescott, Reagan Parent, Eric Steele, and in 7th spot you can see Nick Richie Murray continuing on the comeback trail as we get late in the going in this one. Bob Eldred also in the mix there as well. Going to try and make a run here in the final 25 laps. They are going under the green.
And it's Ryan Kuhn getting the jump, but don't count out Justin Prescott as Goodboe slides in front of him. There's Logan Powers looking for the spot as they dive out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Caution flag back out.
And it was Justin Prescott, Nick, going around to bring out the caution flag. We'll take a look at what happened.
Oh, right off the bumper of Eric Steele. They're co-workers.
It looked like a tag in the left side door by Logan Powers and in the rear bumper by Eric Steele, and could not survive the two. We'll see what what, if anything, race control decides on that, and it could be a very big call, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. With Eric Steele running up there inside the top 5 at this point in this race. But that's going to open the door for Reagan Parent and the guy who's sitting right behind him as well. Richie Murray in that '08 car has worked his way up through the field here, Michael, and he's putting himself in a position here to have a good showing at the end of this thing.
That is for sure, Nick, and you can see the word has come down. Eric Steele, the 32, is going to the rear for his involvement in that incident, so he had fought his way well through the field, and now he's going to have to do it again over the final 25 laps.
Yeah, and that's a tough one with how difficult track position is to gain in this at this racetrack in this race. 25 laps to go. Gonna have to really get on his horse there if he wants to get back even into the top 10 of this thing.
Is the field doubling up? 45 Casey Beatty and the 04 of Justin Prescott, both on pit road. You can see Justin Prescott as well. We will see what they can do on this restart with 25 laps remaining in the Pard Brothers 75.
Here they go, coming to the green flag. Ryan Kuhn on the outside. Oh, not quite yet.
Looks like they took one, Nick.
So,
Take one to make sure the pit returning cars can get caught up to the field.
So this time we'll go green flag racing.
They were just trying to get you, Nick. Make sure you were paying attention.
Yeah, I think so. So here we go. This time we are going to go green flag racing with Kuhn on the outside, Goodboo on the inside. Couple of RKM Racing teammates here. We'll see if Kuhn tries to leave Goodboo a spot to get in behind him here so they can run 1-2.
Green is out. Ryan Kuhn in his 400-horse open sleigh back out on top, the 72 machine. Goodboo in second. The battle is for third. Reagan Parent on the inside. Richie Murray on the outside. And J.J. Goodboo getting in the mix in the 92 machine as well.
And Michael, I think we might have missed it. Did Logan Powers also get penalized for the contact with Justin Prescott?
I would have to assume that's the case, Nick, if he's back at the rear of the field. Obviously, Steele initially went, and maybe that was why we had the additional caution lap. But you can see Logan Powers put to the rear of the field for his involvement. A huge development in the 2025 championship chase.
Wow, that's a major penalty call on Logan Powers, running up front all day long. And there he is back at the tail of the field. Like I said, Michael, you had to have a perfect race today, and that was just not it, as Logan Powers now has to work his way from the back while Ryan Kuhn is going to be in a position here to possibly take over the point lead if everything goes his way. Casey Beatty, Bob Eldred towards the back of the top 10. Richie Murray is up there in fourth, but Ryan Kuhn has had what you would describe as a perfect day. We're leading the race with 20 laps to go. Won his heat race, trying to make it a max points effort here tonight at Thompson.
And then Bob Eldred looks to be falling off the pace too, Nick. He was leading this pack, but he is now on the inside, sinking like an anchor.
He has
you can
damage.
see the right front on the inside of that car is pointing about 13 degrees farther than he wants it to, and looked like he might have opportunity. Steele get to the back of him. It is all coming apart for Bob Eldred.
Bob Eldred with some major wheel damage on the right front of the 13 machine. Another one of our co-point leaders falling into trouble late here at Thompson. While Ryan Kuhn tries to put himself back in the championship picture in one foul swoop. 17 laps to go. Ryan Kuhn entered the day fifth in points, and he might just leave it the leader if things keep up like this.
Indeed, as we see Mike McCaskill drop to the infield in the 3. Looks like the green will stay out for now, but It is Ryan Kuhn, your leader, Nick, and they say Christmas is the time of miracles, and Ryan Kuhn might be in the process of getting one tonight at the risk of an announcer's jinx, but still 16 laps to go in this one.
Yep, he's got a 6/10 of a second lead to Kyle Goodboe, second and a half to Reagan Parrott, second and a half to Richie Murray. He's running away with this thing right now with 15 laps to go, looking for his third win of the IACT season.
And that's how you get back into it, even if you have to miss a race like Ryan Kuhn did, and that's win races and let the rest take care of it. Richie Murray trying to have something to say about it. Caution flag is out, though, Nick, with 14 laps to go. And we're hearing that it may be the 04 of Justin Prescott. We'll take a look at our ST.
Wow, Logan Powers in it too.
Oh, yeah. Logan Powers, Casey Beatty got a piece.
Bob Eldridge just missed that too.
Indeed, and he gets a chance to go to the pits and see if he can correct the skew issue on the right front, so a double break for the 13 of Eldred. Taking a look here at pit road, Nick, yeah, you can see a 45 of Beatty in the pits, the 13 of Eldred, 04 of Prescott. A very busy place with what I believe is going to be 14 laps to go when we go back racing.
As we continue to fight our technical difficulties here tonight, trying to get it fixed up for everybody for the finish here, as we are going to have a good one. Ryan Kuhn is holding serve right now up at the front of the field. But Kyle Goodboe might make a charge at the very end, and what can Richie Murray do from that preferred starting position up there in fourth?
And what can our top point guy do? Logan Powers has to go to the back again. Bob Eldred and Casey Beatty on pit road again. And they're running out of opportunities, Nick. A lot on the line here in these final circuits. And it'll be Kuhn and Goodboe leading them to the green flag.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air as Ryan Kuhn takes the advantage into turn one. Caution flag back out. Couldn't even make it to the second corner before we have the yellow. Everybody,
we'll take a look at our replay.
Everybody's just fighting for every last spot right now. Yeah, JJ Goodboe just
the good
car outside, I think his spotter meant to say.
Good. What is it the Black Flag podcast says? I don't think I can repeat it. You know.
Yeah. Clear by who gives a you know what. So we got
some hard racing for a top 5 spot late in the going, and after a very long green flag stretch, this race is hit some choppy waters, Nick.
Yeah, we were rolling right along there for a while, but as Larry McReynolds would say, cautions breed cautions, and we have 13 laps to go, and it has been a little bit rough and tumble here. We went from 3 cautions in the first 50 or so laps, and now in the last 10 laps we've had 6.
At the front, in front of all the trouble, just keep dashing through the snow in that 400-horse open sleigh and see if he can pilot it to win number 3 on the season. He is going to have 13 more laps when we go back racing.
Yeah, and Goodboo is going to definitely try to put some sort of charge on that 72. Try to go for the win. See if he can get into victory lane. Reagan Parrott is there. He wants it. And Richie Murray continues to kind of be that X factor as the field doubles up, gets ready to go green again. Can Murray, I think in a best case scenario here, Richie Murray, one of the best restarters on the IACT series, can he move up there into second and make this a really strong points day for that 08 team going into the finale next week?
And Nick will take a quick look behind him as well. Some other interesting names. Brock Rouse having the best run of his IACT career in 5th. Caden Fisher battered and bruised up to 6th. And Logan Powers is already back up to 7th alongside Casey Beatty as we go green here on this restart.
Green flag is out. They barrel down into turn number 1. Kuhn gets the advantage. Goodboo slides up. Can Parrott slide up? No, he cannot. Murray maintains the outside position. Can he get around that 17, though? That's going to be the question. They're going to continue to fight side by side. Now Murray gets a little bit of an advantage back into 1, and Parrott's going to slide on up in front of Caden Fisher there, holding on to 4th position.
Richie Murray came into tonight 4th in the standings, trying to capitalize on some misfortune for others as they stream around the 04 Justin Prescott. Just all came apart for him tonight. We take a look here as we can see Richie Murray got a bruised right front and a horde behind him. Reagan Parent, the 18 of Fisher, Jason Ricker getting into the mix, and Logan Powers trying to mount the comeback in the 37 with 10 laps to go at Thompson.
Yeah, these cautions have been... And, you know, it's kind of crazy to say because Logan Powers has been in a couple of these cautions, but they've almost been a benefit for him as people get, you know, wrecked out of the race, kicked out of the session for causing too many wrecks, so on and so forth. Logan Powers gaining spots on these restarts every single time, back up to 7th. And while that's not perfect, that's a much better day than if he were to finish, you know, 18th.
Indeed. Checking a little behind him, Casey Beatty. That car looks like it's been skinned and sliced and beaten with a can opener, but he is trying to take the 8th position away from the 70 of Brock Rouse and keep his championship hopes alive, and he does it.
And Rouse sliding back down on the inside there. Rouse still trying to get his career best finish in that number 70 machine. Also no worse for the wear as they slide off of corner number 4. Beatty up into 8th position, trying to stay in this title fight, but back up front, it's Ryan Kuhn and Kyle Goodboo. Really just Ryan Kuhn. He's got a 7/10 of a second lead running away with this thing as Richie Murray trying to get those extra points by getting around Goodboo. But Goodboo, the RKM teammate of Ryan Kuhn, not going to make it easy, Michael, but we have caution now with 6 laps to go.
Indeed. Yellow flag back out here in the Pard Brothers 75. We're going to head to our SDK Gaming replay and see if we can determine what happened here in just a moment. But getting down to it, Nick, not even half a heat race left in this one as we take a look here and see what happened to bring this caution out.
We'll see. Oh. Nate Wenzel all by his lonesome. Spun out so badly that his car just disappeared off the racetrack. Now there it is.
His car needed a breather.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Well, does that make things interesting
And
or what?
We're taking a breather here, Nick.
Yeah.
I'll say we're going to have what appears to be a 5-lap dash for cash in this one. 5 laps to determine who gets the $50 to win, who gets the 75 points to win, 68 for second, 66 for third, so on and so forth. I haven't started crunching numbers yet, Nick, but I know it. If you thought it was close coming into tonight as they run, it's going to be even closer heading into next week's finale, the Doug Hoare Memorial 146 at Virtual Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a huge race. The Doug Hoare Memorial is the most prestigious race on the IACT schedule. Everybody wants to win it. Comes with the biggest payday. And from what we've heard from Justin Prescott, who is the series director of IACT, the goal is to make that at least $146 to win, if not more. So you've got that. You've got the championship being decided. It's a very long race at Nashville Fairgrounds. Big, long, bumpy track. And 146 laps to decide our champion. That's not going to be one you want to miss.
Indeed. But first, the matter is 5 more laps in the Pard Brothers 75. Kyle Goodboe going to get another shot at Ryan Kuhn on the inside, Nick. Richie Murray will be on his bumper this time. Grandma, put your teeth in your pocketbook, get out your popcorn. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Here we go. Kuhn outside 72. Goodboe inside 17. Richie Murray down on the bottom. Does he try to spice things up? Green flag back in the air as Kuhn getting pushed by the 17 of Parent into the race lead. Parent looking to go for second. Side-by-side fight between the two 17s. Richie Murray waiting in fourth, looking to make something happen with 4 to go at the stripe.
Kuhn again with no trouble on the restart, and now it is... Oh, Kyle Goodboe hanging on, touches bumpers with the other 17 apparent, holds on to it. Now the 08 of Murray trying to get back the position he lost on the restart, but Goodboe barrels it into turn number 3 and holds on.
What a move by Kyle Goodboe. I didn't think that you could do that. But nonetheless, he steals the spot from Richie Murray as Murray now drives it in deep underneath. The bottom lane might be coming in a little bit here at the end, Michael. Murray trying to get into the podium. These guys really, really want to talk to us in victory lane here tonight. Goodboe up the track. He's in the wall. Into Beatti. And Goodboe sliding in through the infield and into the infield wall. Will we see caution here with 2 laps to go? Doesn't look like it.
Field stays green for now. Richie Murray in the 3rd spot, then Caden Fisher and Logan Powers up to the number 5 spot. 1 more to go at the Thompson Speedway in the Pard Brothers 75. The battle will be for this 3rd spot, but at the front, it is all Ryan Kuhn. Put a star on top of the tree. His 3rd win of the season in the GossCars.com IACT Series. Reagan Parent second, then Richie Murray, Caden Fisher, and Logan Powers round out a wild and woolly 75 laps of action at Thompson.
Casey Beatti rebounding to finish 6th after a terrible, terrible day. Great 6th place finish for him. Bob Eldred, who had all that wheel damage, rebounds to finish in 8th. And how about Kyle Goodboe running in the top 3 for all of this race? 74 laps in the top 3 of this race, Michael, finishes 16th.
Things they started bouncing off each other, Nick, and Kyle Goodboe just on the unfortunate odd man out in that one ends up at the back. Certainly not a finish indicative of his performance in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ryan Kuhn is your winner. We'll let our top 3 drivers give them a moment here to get on over into the broadcast booth with us as we take a look at our finishing results here on the left side of your screen. You can see Ryan Kuhn getting the win tonight over Reagan Parent and Richie Murray. What a drive from Richie Murray to get up into the top 3. And Michael, I think all this race did was really just tighten the points up going into that final race.
Indeed. Oh, I'm doing some numbers and scratching some math here, Nick. Gonna have to double check this just to be sure, but after we get to our top 3, we'll see if you get an update. In the meantime, our top 3 have joined us, and we are going to start with the 72 of Ryan Kuhn, a 3-time feature winner this season, Ryan, and just bringing those bright colored lights around once again.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Honestly, I thought I was going to be a little harder to pass, but honestly, I mean, I couldn't believe I took the lead when I did because I thought it was just going to be that hard to pass. But the bottom actually came in pretty good, and I was really happy that the bottom was pretty good there at the end. So all in all, it was a fun race. A little bit of a kind of a wreck fest there midway through, but all in all, it was fun.
Yeah, Ryan, take us through that pass that you made on Logan Powers, because that really changed the complexion of this race. It kind of surprised everybody. I mean, we were scratching and clawing, looking all over the field for somebody trying to make a pass. It was just that difficult. How did you get it done on Logan when you guys were still on relatively fresher tires?
Yeah, I kind of managed my stuff there early on to, keep them cool enough to put the pressure on them. And the first few laps, I was able to catch them, and then it was just all about building a run. And then I saw the lap car kind of mess him up a little bit. I had enough of a run, and I just drove that thing down into 3 about as hard as I could without sliding up and hitting them. And it stuck. I couldn't believe it stuck, but it did. So was able to take the lead. Easier than I thought it was going to be, but I mean, that's just kind of how you get to run this place. You kind of just got to run up and just kind of slide job them, and it's not really like the real version. The real life, in real life, you can kind of make the bottom work, but on here, it's just the outside is such a good run. You just kind of have to slide job them. But all in all, heck of a race up front. I had a great time.
Now, Ryan, we got one more race left on the GossCars.com IECT schedule, and even though you had to miss a race earlier this year going to Speed Weeks, if I've done my math correctly, you're going to be one of 5 drivers within 10 points of each other for this title. How are you feeling going into next week at Nashville?
That's impressive. I didn't even know I was still in it, but that's pretty cool that I'm still in it. Yeah, I had no idea, honestly. Never looked at the points, just kind of coming here and having some fun. So I've had a lot of fun this season, and just hats off to everyone who's put this deal on, everyone at IECT and the American Canadian Tour. You guys are doing a great job.
And Ryan, one more question before we let you go. Michael is enamored with your Christmas lights on your race car. Are you going to keep that up for the championship race next week?
I don't know. We'll see. If I remember to put on a new scheme, I will. But it's always Christmas time. You kidding me?
Well, there he is. Our first place, our winner tonight, Ryan Kuhn. Ryan, congratulations on a good run, man, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
On to second tonight, Reagan Parent. Reagan, you kind of came out of nowhere there in the middle portions of this race, put yourself in a good position, use that top lane to make some moves happen, and wind up P2 tonight. How's it feel?
Feels good to finally be up here talking to you guys after one of these races. I've had a pretty rough season in here so far. It hasn't been like the years past, and yeah, this place, like Ryan was saying, is all about being on the top. So all those long runs we would have, I would try to position myself to be in like 6th or 8th or 10th to, if we do have a yellow, restart on the top and try to capitalize when I can. And we ended up working our way up to where we were, got up to 3rd at one point, fell back to 4th, and then finally using the top again on the final restart was able to slip by Richie and Kyle there and come home 2nd.
Now, Reagan, there's no way to sugarcoat it. There was a lot of carnage, a lot of stop and start in the final 25 laps of the race, including a couple of things happened around your neck of the woods. How'd you manage to stay out of trouble, keep cool through all the stop and start down the stretch?
Yeah, just not driving off my hood pins. My dad taught me a long time ago that you got to be looking 2-3 cars ahead, and that makes a big difference. When you're coming off the corner, you can see him wrecking half a straightaway ahead of you, to be able to check up and miss it. There was one moment we had a restart there when Logan was still the leader, and we all stacked up on the top lane, and I was turned just about facing the infield, and I don't even know how I kept it straight. So just a little bit of luck and just looking out.
Well, Reagan Parent using lessons learned from his father to finish P2 here tonight.
Yeah, former champion at this track.
Thompson.
Too.
Yes, he was. He knew his way around this place for sure. So congratulations, Reagan, on P2, and we will see you next week at the championship race at Nashville.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Once again, that is Reagan Perrin, our second place finisher. And now to round out the podium, we go to the '08 of Richie Murray, who has become quite the regular on the podium in this Chuck Run Auto Parts machine. Now, Richie, I know you got a pretty big piece of the second caution in the race early on. How did you manage to get back up through the field?
First and second. Definitely, I was getting worried it was going to become another Oxford with the way this race started. I was looking at 10 incident points in 2 laps, so it was not looking too great. But the rest of the race, and just working through traffic, wreck avoidance, top priority, and then eventually the cards kind of fell in my favor. The last couple restarts there, once the tires evened out, we could actually have some good top lane, bottom lane racing. So I took the opportunities as they came to me, and tried to make the best of what I had.
And yeah, Richie, you guys you put together a good run here today. Good heat race finish, good feature finish. You're going to be right there in the championship going into the race next week at Nashville. How excited are you for what looks like it's going to be a 5-man dance for the championship?
Oh, it's gonna be a good race. I just hope whoever drew the poker chip out of the heat race bucket to get my heat race position, we're switching that up. I don't know if I drew that chip or if someone else drew that chip, but we're switching whoever draws that chip, because started behind the other 2 championship contenders in the heat race kind of put me in the back for the race. But hopefully we get a good draw for the heat race. Able to start up front and just manage the track position for that race. Should be a little bit easier to pass there, but it'll be a lot more bumpy track, a lot more managing tires if we get an extra set of tires in that race.
Indeed, but we're certainly looking forward to seeing you and the rest of them fight out another great run, another great rebound tonight, Richie. Great work.
Thank you so much. See you next week.
All right, there is Richie Murray, P3 on the day today at Thompson. Michael, we've talked about it a little bit, but as we wrap up tonight's Pard Brothers 75 at Thompson, let's talk about next week, the championship at Nashville Fairgrounds, an old, abrasive, bumpy track, and we are going there for 146 laps.
Indeed, this is another one of the old tracks, grand tracks in the U.S. Long time host of the NASCAR Cup Series, up until the mid '80s. Not many people don't realize that. Still thriving today on the short track scene, and we're gonna have a barn burner, Nick. Again, the points I added up while we were waiting for Victory Lane was unofficial, but here's what I have. I have Logan Powers with 463, Bob Eldred with 455, Ryan Kuhn with 454, and then Casey Beatty and Richie Murray each with 453.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Looking forward to not just a great race, but literally this could be a situation where who's on the pin for the championship could be changing by the lap. It's going to be great to follow along, and I hope everyone joins us for it.
Absolutely. Michael, we might have to put you into the math role next week. Your brain's going to be spinning a little bit too much probably to run the broadcast. There's going to be so much to follow.
Don't worry, I'll have my abacus ready.
There we go. Michael Stridesberg, no better man in the game to count the points. And honestly, we'd probably, if you weren't part of IACT, we would probably be calling you because, like I said, if you want your point standings figured out, call Michael Stridesberg. So we got the best in the business for next week to count points. We'll have the champion for you live right here on the ACT YouTube. So tune into that one, 8 o'clock. Like you said, Michael, 5 guys within 10 points of each other for the championship. I mean, it's been a truly incredible season of IACT racing, and I can only imagine what the finale holds in store for us. So tune in next week, and it should be a lot of fun. That will wrap it up for us here tonight at Thompson. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Pard Brothers Racing, for coming on for the Pard Brothers 75, and everybody over at IACT to help put this series on each and every week. 8 weeks strong out of this long and cold winter.